Hello, today we will be learning about Grilldenser expansion in the grill expand area. Once the grill assembly is ready, with all fins and tubes fully inserted and square in the jig, you can continue with the expansion of the tubes. The machine pushes metal rods into the tubes to expand them slightly. This expansion locks in the position of the fins for proper heat distribution across the grill. Once the expansion is completed, the core can be sent either to packaging or to the oven, where the moisture is removed from the grill completely to avoid any contamination of the parts when they are sent to the customer. In order to perform the expansion, you must first raise the ram on the machine so the lowest plate is above the head clamp and the rods are above the top of the gate when it is raised. On the control panel, flip the hydraulic switch for the table down so the table moves to the horizontal position. Using the hoist, lift the jig board from the assembly table and line the jig and tubes up with the holes in the nest block. You can also use the markings on the nest block itself for reference. Take the spacer block that fits that unit and line the holes on the block up to the tubes in the grill assembly. The block kept on the side of the machine will be used for almost all grill assemblies, but there is an alternate spacer block that fits certain parts that are made less frequently, like the RD-4-5190. When the jig and spacer block are secure, tilt the table back to the vertical position using the hydraulic switch on the control panel. Slowly lower the ram until the rod ball ends are almost touching the tubes. Move the jig board left to right and in or out to align the rods with the tubes. You'll have to adjust the positions of the left and right end stops and the back stop for the gate. Make sure these are all fully tightened with little to no movement from the gate when it is ready for expansion. Spread oil over the rods to avoid any damage to the rods or tubes. Continue bringing the machine down slowly so the rods enter and slide through the tubes. Once the rods are in, continue the expansion in one smooth operation until the rods bottom out and the side clamps lock. Raise the ram on the machine back above the jig board, clear of the grill and its tubes. Reconnect the hoist to the grill jig and move the board back to the assembly table. Disconnect the hoist, loosen the clamps on the board, and open it. Remove the grill from the jig and inspect the grill for the following: any warping of the tubes or fins, damaged loops on the tubes, or any discolored tubes. Double check by referring to the drawing of the part on the blueprint. You must also measure the header-to-header length of the tubes to be sure you are making quality parts. Take a ruler and make sure the measurement from the inside of each header is within the tolerance noted on the blueprint. If the core is not within tolerance, there are spacers to be used to adjust the header-to-header length during expansion. You can add spacers to compact the grill more and make the header-to-header length shorter, or take away a spacer to make the length longer. If the header-to-header length is still not within tolerance, you must set the rod depth longer or shorter depending on the measurement. Repeat this process until the header-to-header length is within tolerance. In addition to the header-to-header length, you need to be sure the fins, tubes, and headers are secured properly. Grab the edge of the header and try moving it around. Here's an example of a pre-expanded core and what the header looks like before operation. After expansion, the grill or core should be tight, with no free movement of the individual parts. Double check the part matches the drawing on the blueprint, and place the grills on the holding racks when complete. Before we're done, let's go over some evaluation criteria for the grill expansion in the grill expand area. Number 1. The operator correctly aligns the jig board with the rods. This means they know to bring the rods close to the tubes, adjust the grill left or right and in or out before bringing the ram down fully for expansion. Number 2. The operator correctly expands a grill. This means the operator correctly performs the expansion operation in this area. And number 3. The operator inspects the grills for damage after they are expanded. This means they know how to inspect the grill for damage to the fins, tubes, or headers, and the operator is able to match the drawing on the blueprint to the finished part. That's all you need to know to begin performing the Grilldenser expansion operation in the grill expand area. If you have any questions, be sure to ask your supervisor or coworkers for guidance, and thank you for your contribution toward making Red Dot a better company.